Yeah, good morning, everybody. Cloud ERP live stream today. Yeah, this morning I have to join without my beloved coffee in the morning. So I'm under caffeinated. Uh, just when I stumbled in the office, somebody was maintaining the coffee machine and said, in 10 minutes it's okay, but 10 minutes, that was 10 minutes ago. So yeah, because yesterday we discussed about the process each morning, getting a coffee, drinking the coffee, and that I sometimes need to adapt the process, yeah, because unplanned things happen, yeah, and that's the good question. How do we adapt our processes if unplanned things happen? So this morning, the time to adapt was too short. Deadline was approaching, and I couldn't adapt, so I'm without coffee today. Yeah, that happens. And we live in a world in which many of these things happen, actually. Tariffs and geopolitical events. But yeah, that's the topic for next phase, so to say, of our Cloud ERP history that we are looking at. And today we are focusing on, let me share this fancy slide we have. Yeah. Today we are focusing on when processes become everything and still nothing changes. Yeah. When processes become everything and still nothing changes. So welcome everybody to our live stream, and if you want, join us at menti.com, and there's this code that you can use that is 32896631. So I repeat it once, 32986631. Take a note of that, and I will show it later again, because we want to have some, yeah, polls and interaction. You can even ask questions if you want, live, as we used to do. Yeah, so that was what we discussed also yesterday about the different phases of, as I personally see it, it's only my opinion, yeah? I'm not claiming that this is a scientific truth, but I have some decades of ERP experience, and this is what I have concluded. Yeah, so there's a classical phase that we discussed extensively yesterday, in which, yeah, as we discussed, mainly it is about configuring an ERP system. Yeah, so the specialists, that is the consultants, they are the ones who configure and do some wizardy stuff. So maybe, hopefully, after many days, months, and sometimes even years, the ERP does what it is supposed to do, and if not, the company has to adapt to the ERP system, which is what we discussed yesterday. But today, yeah, we are entering the second phase, the enlightened phase of process mapping. Yeah, so this smart guy here presenting this flip chart, and he is challenging us, and he says, hey, it's not right if we just configure our ERP system. Yeah, let us first have a look at our processes in our company. Yeah, because what are our processes, and what are how do we work? Yeah, so yesterday we had this example of a project, which is no secret. It is all over in the press. Yeah. So it's a Lidl project I mentioned, and after doing the classical approach, yeah, they found out that the SAP processes and the Lidl processes supposedly don't fit together. So that was the conclusion. Only problem was they spent 500 million to get this insight. So our modern guy would say, hey, why spend 500 million? Yeah, let's first have a look. What are your processes? Do you even have a process model? Yeah. Do you even have knowledge of your own processes? Which is, honestly said, rare. Yeah. Actually, it is rare. Yeah. So if we come into companies, yeah, and sometimes there's a company that says, hey, we have already process models of our own processes. Sometimes. Yeah. But more often than not, they don't. Yeah, okay, they have some stacks of paper, some stacks of PDFs or Word documents or whatever, I don't know. And something is written, something is documented, something is not documented. So our modern guy says, no, let's first map the as-is processes, yeah, and then let's discuss about that one, yeah, and see if we like them, yeah, or we want to improve them, yeah. So certainly that is some, some truth to it, and a lot of truth to it, I must say, because so what happens if such an endeavor is done? Yeah, what happens if such an endeavor is done is that people join together, yeah, and they think together, and that's a good thing, because they first they have to be in agreement of the as-is process, yeah. So like, is this really how we work? Yeah, and even then, so I've done many of these projects, and my consultants, they are doing many of these projects, and it's very enlightening. Actually, it is enlightening. So if everybody says to me, we don't need that, yeah, I'm the wrong guy for that. Certainly, you need that, yeah. And sadly, there are enough SAP consultancies, yeah, who, or in general ERP consultancies, I should say, yeah, because if you look at other ERP vendors like I don't know, Oracle, Microsoft, yeah, so do they even bother about processes? Yeah, question mark. I don't know, yeah. So a process model, I would say, yeah. So certainly we need that, yeah. Otherwise we have nothing to discuss about, yeah. It's more like stacks of paper or cryptical written whatever, or even people just saying I want this, unstructured thing, yeah. And then after we've, so to say, achieved the common agreement and knowledge about the current state, yeah, of course we want to define a future state, yeah, a to-be model, yeah. And then it becomes interesting because, yeah, it's good if we achieve alignment on that, but what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Are we doing, fantasy drawing, yeah, like children drawing some worlds that actually don't exist? Or what do we think? Yeah. So what do we think? Do we draw like, how we wish the world to be? Yeah. And then we create a ideal world, an ideal process, how we like the future. Yeah. And then we think by just drawing it, the world has changed. Yeah. And maybe then we will give this process to some ERP vendors or some, I don't know, IT suppliers or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. So that is often the situation is, yeah. For example, if we want to improve an order to cash process, yeah, and it's to be harmonized across certain parts of the company. Yeah, so you are a big company and you have a mother company and subsidiaries, and you say, hey, we have so many order to cash processes, let us harmonize this order to cash process. How do we do that? Yeah, then you make a project and everybody's gathering, and from different subsidiaries, from different companies, and even that is very hard to achieve, yeah, because everybody has much to do, everybody has much on their desk, and you're calling the manager, hey, send me someone for this process modeling project. Why should I do that? Yeah, because we want to harmonize. Yeah, but we are fine. We are good. We yeah. Why should we harmonize? Yeah, and then you discuss, and then you go to the top management, and the top management says, yeah, there is some benefit in harmonizing. Yeah, and okay, do it. But yeah, so I get. Yeah, I just got the message that the coffee machine now works. So excellent. I can grab my coffee. So yeah, but what I want to say, yeah, and then yeah, but how many budget do you need? Yeah, I need this and this, and so on and so on. Yeah, okay. So you gather the people in the room finally. Yeah, maybe half of them show up, and then you discuss. Yeah, and then you get maybe want to harmonize this process, yeah, and then but they say, yeah, but we have SAP, and the other one says, no, we have a different ERP system, and the other one says, no, we have no ERP system, we're doing the same with Excel, yeah. So how do you do this then? Yeah, how do you then harmonize the order to cash process, yeah, if everybody has a different ERP system, just plainly said, yeah. So after 2 months, there's no visible change, or maybe you make some harmonizing process model so that at least it looks similar, yeah. But after 2 months, there's no visible change in daily operations, yeah. Manual workarounds still exist, and the modeling itself is mistakenly for transformation. So no transformation actually happened, yeah. And I don't know how you feel about this. If you think, hey, that's me, that's our company, that's truth to it, yeah. So I'm not taking fantasy scenarios here, yeah. Or maybe another example, yeah. System flow comes later. We say, yeah, we can say, okay, we optimize our purchase to pay, redesign, and we optimize this process model, yeah, but then we say, okay, let's just draw the process model how we like it, yeah, and then not consider how this works in the systems, yeah, for example, in the SAP system, yeah. So, or maybe even a new system is rolled out, and then you find completely different processes than those which you have designed, yeah. And then you think, okay, though, what do I do? Yeah, then maybe you want to have to redesign your process models so that they fit to the system. Finally, yeah, and so you have a lot of rework to do, which is actually some kind of ironical, because so who is adapting to whom? Yeah, is the process model adapting to the system? Is the system adapting to the process model? That's a question, yeah. Who is, so to say, the more powerful player in the room, so to say, yeah. And yeah, that if we design in isolation, yeah, if we design detached from the real world, then we have a problem, because then it leads to fragile results we cannot actually yeah, that have nothing to do with the reality. And honestly, some companies do this. Yeah, they say, okay, we know it has nothing to do with reality. Yeah, we just do it. Yeah, because we have to do it. We have to have a process model. We have to have something we can show to the. For example, some of them have an ISO 9001 certificate. Yeah, which is quality management and something like this. You have some process models, and you show that you have a system of process modeling, and you show that you have a system in which you can adapt your process models. Yeah, but so some companies are completely fine with it. They say, okay, yeah, I have this process model. It has nothing really to do with reality, or it would be too complicated to get it aligned with reality. Yeah, but yeah, we have the process model, and that's fine. Yeah, so that's what many say. Yeah, actually, that's true. And if you are trying to implement then an ERP system, and you try to use these process models, then you find some serious problems, because yeah, as you can imagine, fantasy process models doesn't help. Yeah. So that's often situations, yeah. And yeah, so again, join us at menti.com because I want to make a poll in some seconds, yeah. So we can see how you think about what your process maturity actually is actually. So join us at menti.com. And this is the code 32986631. Yeah. And yeah, you can also use the QR code, and also there's a mobile app that you can use so that you can join us in this poll that we will have in some seconds. So again, 32986631 is the code to be joined. Okay, let me just quickly also display the code here so that we can still join while I'm. So here you have also at the top you have the code, so you can still join at menti.com. Okay, so what are we then doing? Yeah? And sometimes you know this. It's already from 2008. It's the BPM maturity, one of the BPM maturity models. I don't know, maybe you use another model, but yeah, BPM maturity model, which tells about how far progressed is a company or is a organization, so to say, on the maturity of processes. Yeah? So that's often then used. And we distinguish between the phases of acknowledge operational efficiencies, which is number one, measure and monitor business activities. Yeah? And then we enter phase two, which is model and analyze business processes. That's what we just said. Yeah? And also, very important, in phase two, process aware, is beginning to identify process owners. So it's very nice if you have process models, but if you don't have process owners, you cannot decide anything, because then nobody can, let's say, change the process, or everything stays like it is, or everybody's blaming everybody else, so to say. Yeah. So that's phase two, yeah? Process aware. And then you might enter one of the other stages, like intra-process automation and control, yeah, which is having a link to between process models and rules to execution. I should say, I rarely find any company who is at level 3. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, so I rarely find any company that's in level 3 already. Yeah, every company has IT. Everybody has processes, but are they even linked? Yeah. How are they linked? Show me. Yeah. How are they linked? What is the link between the process and the IT? Yeah, think about it. Is there some link? I mean, IT is your nervous system. Yeah. So, how can a human body function without a nervous system? How can you make a model of a human body? Yeah, like I don't know. If you go to the doctor, sometimes you have such models from plastic from the human body, but they have no nervous system. Yeah, they don't live. So you need an IT system for that. Yeah, certainly. Otherwise, it don't live. So compare alternatives driven by various optimization techniques in real time. Really, hardly, it's my opinion. Yeah, to meet any company doing this. Yeah. Craft process automation and control across the enterprise, customers, and trading partners. Yeah, so that is even level 4 is so challenging to achieve sometimes. Yeah, that well, also it's rare. It's really rare. Yeah, maybe some of the really modern companies like Amazon and I don't know, Tesla and whatever, they have some of this level. Yeah. And then next level, enterprise valuation and control. It's even like, yeah, you don't just have the process models, but you know the value of each process. You can calculate in euros, yeah, what is the value, how can you have value drivers in that process model. And that is level 5. And level 6 would be agile business structure. Yeah, what is agile business structure? It means if there's an event, an unexpected event, your processes and system landscape can adapt so that you can be resilient and compensate this and still survive and go off and come out as a victor, so to say. Yeah? And not like me this morning because coffee machine didn't work, yeah, so I'm still hurt. I have no coffee. Okay, I will be complaining until the end of the live stream. So let's do a poll. Yeah. So what do we have? What do you think? Which maturity levels do most companies have? Okay, there's a typo. Yeah. Do most companies have? Which process maturity level do most companies have? So I'll just start that again here. Okay. So thank you. Yeah, already coming in. So let me see. So you have 100 points, and you can distribute these points across different categories. Yeah. So yeah. So if you want to give feedback, join us at Menti, and you can distribute your points according to how you like it, but not more than 100. And let's see. 15. Yeah, so 5. Oh, okay. 1. How much points do I have left? 20. Okay. So then I'll do here. I give also my opinion. Yeah. Okay. 4 points left. Okay, I'll give here. Good. So, yeah. Yeah, so we have replies coming in. Thank you very much. And yeah, points are moving. Let me start a timer. So for 30 seconds, so you can still enter your opinion live into our live stream, and then we will have this result. So are most companies process aware or acknowledge inefficiencies or have intra-process control, inter-process control or value control, or even an agile structure? Yeah. So thank you very much. Yeah, it's interesting to see how our opinion is, how we think about it, and yeah. So most of you agree process aware is most of them companies, and but still many acknowledge the inefficiencies. Yeah, but then the question is, do they have process models? Do they have process owners? Yeah, and many have, yeah, actually. And also some have intra-process control, but there's a big gap between intra-process control and inter-process control. What does it mean? It means individual processes are maybe well modeled or well controlled, yeah. But if it comes to how different areas of the company work together, how different companies even in the same company group work together, or different like intercompany business. Yeah, always if you do intercompany business in the same group, yeah, that's always challenging, and and also your CFO will will have a difficult time with that. So, but yeah, thank you very much, very enlightening, and but let's move on. So that is the typical like process landscape, yeah, that companies have: idea to market, lead to cash, plan to fulfill, source to pay, governance, finance, recruit to retire, and acquire to dev commission. But what does it have to do with reality? Yeah. Now, the problem is if we have a landscape, an IT landscape maturity that is not keeping up. Yeah. Like, for example, if you have maturity level 1 in the IT, yeah, standalone in-house, small point solutions being used, worksheets to manage process. Yeah, cool. How do you do then? Process management, yeah, in reality. How do you do that? Or you have distributed IT systems, multiple solutions with poor interfaces, high data replication, batch processes, multiple instances, multiple vendors, the old ERP world. How do you do process management in such an environment? Now, if you are in level 3, centralized IT system, consolidated business suite, minimal data replication, low number of interfaces, and less than 3 to 4 instances, maybe that's the first time you have really the opportunity to control your processes. And then level 4, intelligent application and platform. I'm not talking about this today because this is even more advanced. So let's be satisfied if we have level number 3. So even that is some goal to achieve for many. So what if we have such a process? Make an example, yeah? Like this is an entitlement in contract, and I can read it. Always we struggle with a resolution. Yeah. So that is create an opportunity, create a contract, a sales contract quote. Yeah. This is software as a service, for example, or at least a subscription business. Create a customer contract, entitlement products in entitlement items. Release the sales contract. That's that one. And then report usage as billable activities, confirmation of the contract, and invoicing. Yeah? Or you have invoicing and also report usage as billable activities, but not for the invoicing, only later. It's also possible to match if your fixed price matches the cost. That's for Netflix, for example. And then you have invoicing without any usage reporting. It's just the rent. Yeah? The rent for each month. So that's a process model, cool. So, but what does it have to have with reality? Yeah. So, and then if you are in a real, so to say, ERP system like this one from SAP, which is called SAP Business by Design, you might have heard of it. And yeah, so it's for mid-market. And then we go here into the system, and do we really find this process here again? Yeah. So let's have a look. So let's start, because we said it's starting with an opportunity, and opportunity we can have also a lead. Yeah. So before that opportunity, and then if we go to document flow. So document flow, what is it? Yeah. So that's the so to say real process in the real system. Yeah. First you had in campaign. Maybe I can make it bigger here. First you had in campaign, which leads to a lead, which leads to an opportunity, and that is the same thing that you have in the process model here. Yeah. So here's the opportunity, and even in the system it's more. Yeah. It's campaign and lead also connected, and then you have a sales quote. Yeah. So here even the sales quote, that's that one. Yeah. And then you have a contract. That's a customer contract. Yeah. A monthly gold delivery for Dagobert. Yeah, so then this is the customer contract here. So, sales contract. Yeah, and then you might have another opportunity, which is interesting because that is even not here in the process. Yeah, here it is missing. In this process, it is missing. Why do we have this misalignment? Yeah, so in the customer contract business, you have renewals, yeah, and for renewals, you want to have another opportunity for the next renewal period, and you have another sales quote, and that is even not in the process here. So you have a certain deviation or certain similarities between this system and the process pedal. And then you have a customer invoice. So that is, if we go back, the same, but in real, yeah, not. And yeah, so if you have the ERP system, it guides you, yeah, it gives you your organization the discipline. It how do you discipline? How do you maintain discipline? Yeah, somehow you have to maintain that discipline. Yeah, otherwise, and such an integrated ERP system that helps to maintain the discipline, because how do you otherwise compare between the reality and fantasy? So yeah, it's such a pity that time is nearly over. So let us conclude here. I've brought another example. Okay, I have this example. Yeah, this example. And even you have a link to the journal entry, so your CFO will love you, because the CFO, they have always the problems. Yeah. If already the process is done, but all information on how the process has been done is forgotten. Yeah, it's like from Blade Runner. Yeah, forgotten like tears in the rain. Yeah, and he doesn't know how to post it. Yeah. So then if you have an integrated ERP system and you have a process in that ERP system and you have a link to the journal entry, actually, your CFO will love that. Yeah, he loves it. Because then you have a clear, clear connection. Okay, that's another example from production. It's more complicated, I won't read it, but that is from S/4HANA Cloud. The same process in S/4HANA Cloud as a document flow. Yeah. Producing, yeah, standard order, outbound delivery, production order, and also at the bottom we have the journal entries. Yeah, that's the journal entries, and here you can even pull up the journal entries in T account view. Every CFO knows this, how this works, and you can exactly see here which of these T account postings are from which step in the process. So that is an integration, way of integration, yeah, of reality with fantasy, actually. Yeah, so what does it do? It helps us to have progress on level 3 and on level 4, because then we have intra-process automation and control, and inter-process automation of control is some next level, I would say. But it works in a similar idea. So before you want to achieve level 4, obviously you have to be clean on level 3. So yeah, so that's and I know you might say, yeah, but we don't have this. Yeah, and how do I do this without having this? Yeah, I'm sorry, you are screwed. I cannot help you. Yeah, this is a problem. It is real. Yeah, it's a real problem. If you don't have an integrated, yeah, system like this, I don't know. Maybe you have a good idea, but it's impossible. It's impossible. You have to have it. It's simple as that. That's my opinion, at least. Yeah. Okay. So, and so let's close it. It's sad that we have not enough time, but we will, continue our live streams. Now we have discussed our way from classical to modern. We see the strength of process modeling, but we see also the weaknesses if they are detached from reality, and have to think about it. And thank you for your feedback. Now, what about the postmodern guy? Yeah, yeah, that's when reality hits. As I said, yeah, my coffee machine this morning, I couldn't even model myself an alternative process to get my coffee. So that was time. Yeah, here, this guy, he has the time. Yeah, the deadline. Time hits, deadline hits, and then your process is screwed. So what do we do then? That is what we can discuss in our next live stream. And maybe next week I'll let you know. So keep you informed. And yeah, so thank you for joining. Thank you for participating in our poll, and have a great day. See you. Bye.